What key are we in? G?
Okay.
We're not starting it like that, are we?
People will never know what we were just talking about before we recorded. Before we edited this down. Hey, welcome to Church Stories. The podcast that exists because you laugh the hardest
when you're not supposed to. I don't know that slogan like really works.
It doesn't?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think we've been going with it for like 30 something episodes.
Confidence,
but
though.
yeah, when I think about it, I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
If you say something with, hey, if you tell a lie loud enough and long enough.
Yeah, because nobody's ever laughing in the the scenarios. It's usually like people are like really stressed or like things are going horrible for them.
Right.
Just dying inside, yeah.
But
They
you
laugh after the fact.
Okay, yeah. You dissected the slogan of the show too much.
I think
and
I
now
just
people
ruined
will
it. Yeah, like now every week people are gonna be like, why are they still saying that?
Now we're gonna say it ironically.
Yeah.
Yeah, but welcome to Church Stories. Great episode today.
We'll
PD's
see.
here.
I mean,
I agree. Yeah, we'll see.
I want it to be, but I'm not just gonna say great episode.
We're just crapping on our guests this whole episode.
No, I believe in him.
Oh man. Okay, so our guest is I don't want to get teary-eyed during this introduction because I feel like me and you go way back. But
me and PD go way back too.
Yeah, like a few weeks. I think.
My wedding.
Yeah.
You are a missionary kid. You
That's right.
are fluent in Spanish.
See.
You grew up in...
Hit the SAP button on your iPhone for the Spanish version of this podcast.
Translated by our guest. Our guest today is Zach Milsaps. Zach is a producer, director, filmmaker, writer. He's kind of done. He's one of those guys who's done it all. Currently does everything.
I'm just trying to make a living right now.
He's hustling.
You are.
Yeah,
he's a
right.
hustler.
Yeah.
He's a hashtag go getter.
Rise and grind.
Husband of one wife, father to one child. I used to say that
It sounds kind of weird to say one wife.
One wife.
Just say husband.
Just one wife so far. What? What?
He's a hustler, so it might be two wives by the end of the year.
When I grew up in Tanzania, when people introduced themselves, they would always have to say like, "I'm a husband of one wife."
Oh wow.
Yeah, just because like polygamy was so common, you really had to go like, "Hey, and so that either meant like I'm done or look out, ladies.
And that is carried on and past your wedding now.
Yeah. Okay. What else? Zach is a really good friend. He is our couple friend. Me and Grace have you and Hannah over, and we've been to your house.
As we say, we were friends with Grace first, so
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't hook me up until Mason had to.
no,
last
Mason
year.
had to. Yeah, Mason.
So
Bain.
thanks, but no thanks. But yeah, you're just one of those guys. We used to work together at Let People See.
Shout out.
Shout out to Let People See. Shout out to Chris Brank and the whole team there.
We got to share the experience of listening to Shama's song for like 7 hours, which
Yes,
I
we
will
did.
say, I thought it was a good song. It does not hold up after 7 hours.
No, it does not.
Oh, you acted in it though.
Little
So.
Drummer Boy. Zach helped out on Little Drummer Boy. Second AD.
Yeah, I recommend you go check it out, but not for 7 hours.
For that, I'm going to put up a 7-hour version just so if you guys want to listen to 7 hours, you want to get that full on-set experience,
Yeah.
we'll have that available for
Did
you.
you work on the new Chick-fil-A song?
I did not.
No, that was just a silent project that we did.
Damn.
But
It
Zach
came out of nowhere.
put me in a short film, several films, and we're currently collaborating on a bunch of stuff right now that we're really
Always.
excited about. We're always in
just
the
trying.
middle of projects.
You should plug your new Chick-fil-A song.
Oh yeah, 12 Days of Chick-fil-A. Check it out.
Even though
pretty
it's
funny.
not Christmas anymore, and like,
It's not.
yeah, when Shama presented the idea to me, I was like, dude, you don't have enough time to like turn the like
Yeah, I know.
to get this out by
And I
Christmas.
didn't. Yeah.
But you did.
But I was sitting in the Christmas service of my grandparents' church in Florida, and I lean over. So my younger brother, he's up to date with all these things, and he's sitting there. He's got a hat over his phone. We're in the front row, and he's looking down, And I look over and I see Shama's video. I didn't even know it was coming out, but I just laughed. It was a silent church laughter,
Yeah.
Just that front row laugh.
You laugh the hardest when you're not supposed to.
But good job
That's
on
right.
getting that out in time.
Yeah, man.
And it was a hit.
Robert Thorell, man, we legit.
Oh, he
landed.
killed it.
I will say I could not get past day 3. They were like day 4.
You get it. After day 3, you're like, you get it.
Yeah.
But everybody else who listens to it, they're like, I need to finish it. You're like, no, you don't.
But
And Facebook took those views though. They kept those views.
Facebook does.
Robert, his line was like, "You seriously have a problem." Like that made me laugh really hard.
Yeah. Robert's awesome, man.
Yeah, Robert, you should check out his podcast. It was really good. The one on church stories.
I was about to say, Robert has his own podcast.
No.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh man, he actually did try to do a podcast, and I was
really?
one of his guests, and I've not heard it, so I don't know if that's a good sign. So if I don't hear this one, it's going to be a trend.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Like, hey, whatever happened to that podcast? You're like, what podcast,
So
Zach?
like it didn't get released.
Well, the whole show, he didn't
didn't
end up doing
release
the
the
show.
show. Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess it happens, you kind of
was
figure
funny. He's
you're
like-
painting the plane as it flies.
Yeah.
But, so I guess that's my introduction is, Zach, great friend. I think I would say you're one of the reasons why I work in the film industry right now. Great encouragement. You're a photographer. You do it all. That's all I'm going to say. And check him out. Follow him online. Keep up with him. You're never online. What am I saying? But still, if you want to keep up with Zach's life, I don't know, quarterly.
I need help.
Quarterly on Instagram.
Quarterly. There you go.
Yeah, do that. But
I feel PD judging me.
PD, Mr. Post, 2 times a day poster.
I wouldn't want that like anybody else to have to be on Instagram.
But you're
that much.
killing it. So
Yes, you are. You are.
and that's
guys.
that's what I always say. If you're gonna do it well, and you do it well. So there you go.
Thank you.
And if not, delete the app. Come back to it next month.
It's like so my wife has that screen time feature where it tells you that you've been on for longer,
sucks.
but she just keeps ignoring it
Yeah.
every 15 minutes. And I told Hannah, why don't you take that off? But it's I do the same thing. You delete the app and then you re-download it to reuse it.
Dude. Okay, so our pastor, my pastor today, Rob Rucci, Pastor Rob Rucci at Upcountry Church. Shout out to Pastor Rob.
What a
I think
man.
he's got the coolest name, Pastor Rob Rucci. And he was just talking about, like cast aside all the weight that sets you, that pulls you down.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's preaching in Hebrews, run without abandon. And he just kept on talking about, put aside the weight of the things that are hindering you. And in my mind, I was just kind of Reddit. YouTube, you know what I mean?
Hey,
YouTube,
but
social media.
Reddit's the good one.
I'm like, what? Same thing with the screen time. I had it on, and I'm like, do I just have it on for me to turn it just to say I'm a terrible person? I'm still here. I don't care. I don't care about spending time with anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I don't know.
If I wasn't on Reddit today, how would I know that in medieval times they wouldn't kill soldiers? They wouldn't kill soldiers who had.
You know this too. I know it too.
We all know
soldiers. Yeah, who had
expensive
really nice armor.
Yeah, because they would want to they would oh, he has money. We're gonna hold him for ransom. So we all know this fact.
Yeah.
We did it, Reddit.
Oh man.
Wow.
I think that's it.
Oh,
And that's
man.
when I realized, I'm like, I really do.
Aren't we supposed to introduce ourselves? We did. We didn't do-
oh gosh.
yeah.
Man, my name is Shama, and I'm addicted to the internet. How about that? That's it. That's my introduction.
My name is Petey, and I went viral on Reddit recently.
You
Dude,
did.
I
as
heard
a
about
black
that.
You did?
That was awesome.
Black. Oh man.
Should I go through it for the listeners?
Yeah, go through it.
Hit it.
Okay, so one day I was playing Spider-Man, and I just had this thought, and I was like, I want to put that somewhere. So I went to Black People Twitter, and I was like, oh no, I'm not a black person. They would just
person
take
of
my
color.
post down. So I was just going through my pictures, and I was like, there's gotta be a bunch of black people in here. I'm just gonna pick one. And then I went with one of my favorite indie wrestlers who's actually in the WWE now. And, I just picked him smiling. And then I posted a tweet, when I hate when, I'll have to read it. I don't really remember. I'm playing the new Spider-Man, and whenever they tell me there's a drug deal, I ignore them. I'm a superhero, not a narc. So that it blew up. It was number 1 on Reddit. It got 88,000 likes. And then one of the guys who made the game liked it. And
That's crazy.
That's the power of the internet there.
So
they liked it because they saw Black Paul made it.
But it said Paul, Pawl, and that should have been there's no black person who would ever go
named
by that.
Paul spelling their name like that.
So I reached out to the wrestler and I was like, hey man, I'm not sure how you're going to feel about this, but I needed to change my profile picture to be able to post on Black People Twitter, and I chose you.
What did he say?
He's like, that's amazing. So I got his approval.
That's awesome.
And now you're friends.
Yeah, I wish.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I think you're going to be a wrestler one day. Guys, okay. So, anyways, our guest for today, we've rambled. Our guest for today is, his name is Zach Milsaps. Everyone welcome Zach.
Hey, guys.
Zach, be our guest.
Okay, so I wanted to say something real quick.
Yeah.
I was a missionary kid in Nicaragua.
Yes.
And Mexico.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mentioned that, but I never said where.
Yeah, I realized that. I just wanted to remind people that Yeah, so quick rundown. I was born and raised in North Carolina. And then when I was 10, my parents decided to move my family to Nicaragua. And I didn't even know what Nicaragua was. Some people still don't know where Nicaragua is that I talked to.
Dang.
And then
I don't think I could point it out on a map.
Yeah, see?
You know, like how John Oliver does his bit. He's he'll point to somewhere on a map and then be like,
"Man on the street."
He'd be like, "You didn't even know that's not Nicaragua," and then he'll show you where it actually is. And sometimes he'll do that 4 times, and he tricks me every time.
But I mean, what's geography really though?
A social construct.
Yeah.
I said that's just time.
So what do you get when you tell people I grew up in Nicaragua? What do they normally say? Are they like,
well, Nicaragua for a while was the trendy place to do missions.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A lot of people I talked to at churches, they were like, "Oh, I've been to Nicaragua. I've served children there
for a week."
Oh, really? For a week?
Oh, yeah. Oh man, you guys, there's a lot of things I want to get into. I want this to be labeled as the one about missions.
Oh, that's it. That's good.
Man.
That's it. You got it. Oh man. So you grew up. I think that's one thing that me and you bonded over a lot. Besides Reddit, was growing up in a third world culture, and being white in a third world culture. Me and you both.
Yeah, Shama is currently a missionary to South Carolina. Just the opposite.
No, but I mean, growing up very American, and then you and your family moved when you were 10, and my family moved when I was 11. So it's just that sweet spot of, oh, I'm cool and I just got the hang of American culture. Then all of a sudden you're plugged into a different culture, even though I was legally a Tanzanian. I'm still there, new and learning all that. And so how was that? How was it for you kind of being transplanted?
I think one thing that we got to remember is kids, I think we were so flexible, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing that my parents told our kids are flexible. That's what I think about my daughter. She's a year and a half, and wherever we take her, she doesn't care where she is. And that's me. And at 10, my younger brothers were 9 and 5, and so it was 3 boys. But I think what was crazy about it was just it was just a new adventure. I remember we got down, touchdown, and we immediately went to our new house, and we were exhausted. And they threw us a party. Everyone was super excited, and we just passed out in the back and on a bed. And that was my first night. And then next 3 years, our blur. No, I'm just kidding. I don't
One heck of a party.
Yeah, so the party didn't end for 3 years.
It's wild.
They're like, all right, guys.
whoa,
Wow, okay.
I'm sorry. Is that
racist?
Racist Shama.
That was Nicaragua.
Oh, sorry, man. So tell us.
La cucaracha.
Me try to segue from racism real quick. So tell us about your. No, so your parents went down there and y'all started a church. I think. Do you regret would you change anything about your childhood?
Oh no, definitely not. No, I think it was phenomenal. Would I do it again? Yeah. Would I do it to my children? I don't know. I'll say there's so many things that we don't know, right? That our parents are going through.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that I look back on and I think, man, they were so strong. I had no idea.
Right.
Okay, so I got a bunch of stories for you guys.
Yeah.
And so
let's go through them.
Yeah. So there's one example. There's one woman who lived. She's homeless. I think she was living outside of our house, but she was known as the demon possessed lady of the town. You know, you probably have that.
Every town.
Yeah,
the Travelers Rest has one. No,
I'm sure.
She's just the one who acts really crazy, and for some reason she had a crush on my dad. And whenever my dad walked out of the house, she would, and this was, I think, definitely for a solid week, I think in our first year, she was trying to woo my dad. But she is crazy. I mean, she's screaming at him, and my dad is just trying to ignore her and walk in and out of our house. And one day, a lot of people are walking in the streets, and they see they're by our house, and she was taking off her clothes for my dad. And my dad is just avoiding seeing whatever is over there on the side. She's screaming at him, dancing in the streets, just naked.
It's like that meme. It's a bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off.
Bold move, Cotton.
And so he walks in, he goes, he tells my mom, he says, "Hey, help. There's something outside." So
When your mom had to go.
Oh, I mean, we just called. We said, "Hey, so my parents were teachers. They went and taught at a school that was a church plant by Mexican church, actually."
Yeah.
And so my parents they just called in. They called in and said, "Help. We don't know what to do." And those are things as a kid I remember thinking, there's a naked woman outside dancing, trying to woo my dad. But I didn't understand the context of what my dad's like, "I did nothing to do this." I didn't even look at her. I haven't winked at her. She's just outside dancing.
I think the craziest part of mission, like being a missionary, and is like, if you, I don't know how, correct me if I'm wrong, being in America and then moving back. For our family, it was like, first of all, we started off in a third world country in Tanzania, in poverty. My parents lived in like a 2-bedroom, like a house, not even like a house, it was 2 bedrooms, right? And an outhouse that they paid like $5 a month for or something. Just grills on the windows.
And you probably had a maid.
Yeah, we had a maid. Yeah,
you had a maid.
Scondina, that was her name. And so my parents moved into the U.S. and then telling people that we were going back. Yeah.
Just for those listeners that are in the
washed a lot of dishes. Yeah, y'all had a maid too. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah. Blanca, shout out.
She's never gonna.
Te extraño.
Is she gonna listen to this? She's never gonna listen.
No,
to it.
Absolutely not.
But so moving back to Tanzania, I think everything, like all the trials and tribulations that happen, even like reading like the different stories of missionaries everywhere else, it's kind of like, one, I'm not gonna say like we chose this, but it's almost like God put us here. You know what I mean? Because that is such a very specific thing to do, is to move to another country with your things and be there. So if something like that happens, it's almost like, oh, we didn't have to be here. You know what I mean? I don't know. Not like that, not in that sense, but because you're obeying the Lord and you're there to do ministry. But when something weird happens, you're kind of like, what? But what are we? Why are we here? One, that's me. Like, it's my 15-year-old me figuring that out a lot in my family. It was kind of like, why didn't we just stay in South Carolina, dude? Like, what are we doing?
At 15, I was just used to it.
Dude, I was indifferent. Like, I love now, same way. Now, looking back on it, I loved it. But at the time, I just thought, I was like, man, this is just crazy. But great experiences, all those things, all the moments, all the ups and downs, kind of, looking back on it, you're like, wow, I wouldn't have traded that. What would I trade that for? Like, I don't know, a 2-story house and, in the mountains? I don't know. I mean, he lives crazy.
A lot of the kids that my parents' friends raised ended up with lives that are so different than mine. And I just can't sadly relate to those kids that my parents were good friends with in college. Right. And we grew up simultaneously, and me and outside of the U.S. and them inside the U.S. And then we get back together, and again, our lives are so different. The things that we're talking about were so different. I mean, they lived in the same home, and my parents, we changed homes like too much. I mean, once or twice a year sometimes, just different homes and within the same city or pretty much in the same town, or when we moved from Nicaragua to Mexico. I mean, there's so many changes that when I talked to someone who'd been in the same home their whole life, it was just a different conversation. And I don't think it's wrong at all.
Right.
But again, I think it goes back to I'm very thankful. But then again, I look forward and think, okay, well, how can I give my children the same experiences, same perspective? And you can't unless you're a minority and growing up in a third world country. But see, some of the things that I wanted to talk about, I was hoping, PD, your experience growing up here in South Carolina, I would hope you would tie it back to, I presume, I only know you so much, so I presume you've grown up here in South Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah, like
life.
Traveler's Rest, right? You've lived Traveler's Rest in here, right? Mm-hmm. Dang.
And so I want you to tie it in for me, because there's a lot of things that Shama and I feel are going to, when we were at Let People See, we would be over in the corner laughing about
just very specific foreign gestures, and people would be like, what are you guys doing?
And they'd just be,
sorry, third.
Yeah. So, and that's one of the things. So there's one thing, short-term missions. Have you gone on a missions trip yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay. If you could, Hawaii is a great choice. I hear it's great up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But short-term
suffering for Jesus.
I
just
you could say that when you go.
I can't be like, hey, everybody, GoFundMe time. I can't do that. Dude. I just can't.
But like, if you had if you could, like, you would though, right?
I mean, maybe.
I mean, seriously though, like, if one semester of one summer's kind of going slow, and you're like, I could post on Facebook and get $2,200 and go to Nigeria for a week, you'd be like, yeah, let's go.
Doing work with orphans and getting those great Instagram pics.
Very vague work, but I mean,
vague work.
How is it? How is it though? Like, you grew up what do you think is different when you hear us talk or me talk? Do you sounds fun or
you
sounds
probably
terrible?
have better stories. That's what I think. It's probably more interesting.
Yeah. At a cost though.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's what I was going to say, because
the trade-off.
Yeah, the cost was me and my brothers, and that was it. A lot of times my friend groups just rotated so much that I only related to my brothers, specifically Max, my younger brother. He and I were close because we were just together and had to endure a lot of these ridiculous things. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, I would be able to go back and we wouldn't talk about it. We just had experienced it together.
Yeah, I've heard of some missionary kids will be shut down to outsiders, as people outside their family.
Yeah.
I feel there's two types of missionary kids. There's crazy ones.
Oh my gosh.
Which are a dime a dozen. They're
and then there are the ones who are all worship leaders.
Is that a thing?
Oh yeah, dude. They always work for churches, man. Missionary kids, they're either smoking crack cocaine, or they're I do everything at my local church of 27 people, and I love it. Or both.
And this is what church stories.
The Venn diagram has a very, very tiny just sliver of people.
Dude, I type in pastor and just pick a drug, and those are such fun articles to read.
Dude, really?
Yeah, but pastor cocaine.
Really?
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, blah blah blah. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, Miami pastor.
That's Florida man though.
Yeah.
Let's not get into that.
And the rest of the podcast will just be us reading r/Florida man.
Okay, you know what's crazy? Back to what we were just talking about. Growing up in missions and traveling or whatnot, dude, I find myself, and I was trying to explain this to Grace, but I always just sound like a psychopath. I'm I don't miss people.
Oh man,
we've had that touchy conversation.
We have
too,
where it's weird. Yeah, just it's kind of I moved so much, and I'd come to the States every other summer, and I'd pack a bag and be here, and unpack and then pack and then be back, and people just moved around so much, and then I'd lose track of people. And then like I remember I had a friend named Joel in Tanzania, and I remember he lived on a YWAM base there. We used to run around on bikes, and then like probably like 5 years went by, and I knew he was ill. 5 years went by, I'd never heard of him. So I go on Facebook, as you do, try to look him up, found out he passed away.
Oh man.
And I was like, golly, man, that's just kind of rough. But like, that's the thing, is like I just was around and everywhere so much that I just don't, I had a friend, a missionary friend named Micah, who was like, I don't tell people bye. I just tell them see you later.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because he's like, bye is morbid. Like I just don't tell people bye. I'm just always like, hey, like we'll see you later. Like
See you in heaven.
Rip Joel.
Man, I've absolutely.
Dude, no, legit though. I mean, it's true, but it is kind of crazy. So, in one way, like you do have, my wife is very different because she's like, I had friends that we grew up with, like we've been friends since we were in diapers, and then I'm like, I don't even remember the people that I grew up. I don't even know their names. I know like one or two of them, and we're friends on Facebook. Friends, air quotes.
So if you never hear from Shama, don't take it personally.
Yeah. It's like one day
Shama
you're going to say,
ghosted.
like, you're going to end a podcast with "see ya," and then we'll never have another podcast.
Man, how is the show gonna end?
Yeah, like I went to TR's Oriental with Ishmael and Tony, and those are two people I've pretty much known my whole life.
Yeah. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Be thankful for that.
Yeah, I envy that. And for me, dude, short-term missions.
Yeah.
My parents noticed that when we were growing up, we were very detached to people. I mean, we weren't detached in the sense that we weren't being social with people, but it's just when we said goodbye, we knew we would never see them again. And there's so many. I mean, there's so many people that would come. And they would always at the end of their week. So my mom hosted a lot of short-term mission teams, and she was always the point of contact. And so we would be roped in to translate. Yeah, roped in to translate. Oh man, the most exhausting week of your life. Those are the blur. I mean, whenever a team comes, you just got to put on your A game, and it's a blur. And then all of a sudden it's over, and you have 3 days of just you gotta rest and shut everything off.
At the end of the day, like they're always like crying. We've hosted teams and they're like, this is just this experience of the kid. And you're like, bye. All right, word, man. Cool deal. I hope y'all leave stuff. I got the flyest pair of J's that a mission team left. Dude, these kids would always just leave stuff, man.
Really?
Always just leave stuff. Yeah, they'd go to a foreign country and they'd be like, I don't need this whole suitcase or these shoes. And I'm like, all right. They're my size.
We would just try and, help them through that process.
Or you could be like, I feel God is, I shouldn't do an accent. That's racist.
I love how you started it and then we're like, this is gonna end.
Yeah. You should be like, I feel like God is telling y'all to let go of material possessions and put them in this basket.
I'm talking iPod touches right now. And everybody. This was back when iPod touches were a big thing.
They're not a big thing anymore. I've been off the internet for a while.
They are not.
Oh man!
But that is the best aspect ratio for Dunkirk.
Is it?
It's a Reddit reference, all right?
Come on, how specific. Okay, so
for me, it was short-term teams would come, and the emotions would always be consistently the same.
Yeah,
especially if it was their first time. It's gung ho that whole week you're there.
Yeah.
Well, there's one missions team that came, and there was this group of kids, and they're all. Side note. Romance is a bliss, and you're always you are the star. A missionary kid is the star. You live there. Yeah, you are going through it. So
come back home, we're like, where were you? I was just out and about by myself. You can't do that.
Yeah,
you're locked into a group of 10 rolling around like freshmen on a college campus.
You can't drink the water.
That's huge, yeah. You'd be like just chugging from like the faucet. They're like, no, bottled water for you.
We had one team that was so paranoid about it that they duct taped their mouths when they showered.
What?
What?
They duct, yeah.
What?
I mean, and you use filtered water to brush your teeth. I mean,
Yeah.
no, we wouldn't use filtered water to brush our teeth, but we drink filtered water or whatever. But they put duct tape over their mouths. And when they told us that, they're like, yeah, we put tape over our mouths. That's what our leader said. And we just...
That sounds like
We
you're
just
asking to
stared
be
at-
kidnapped. Like we've already got the mouth covered. Like,
okay.
You're halfway there.
yeah.
Except for the fact that you're soapy. You'd be hard to catch.
Well, Americans have a death wish when they go to third world countries.
Really?
So they walk out into the streets.
Yeah.
They don't look both
true.
ways.
Yeah.
They carry a lot of cash
All the time.
all the time in their fanny packs. They are just so mesmerized by everything that anyone that walks up to them, they're just going to be fully engaged.
No, don't do that. Don't
Dude.
walk. Stay with us.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, that's very true. They're asking
So
to
they're
be
just
kidnapped.
like really unaware.
They're very dude. It's babysitting. For
all
us,
it
it
is,
was
really.
absolutely babysitting.
Wow.
And not every team, but a lot of the teams that came, especially if they were younger youth groups.
Yeah.
Whenever a youth group came, it was for them. Not every time, but I say the best thing that a short-term team can do is go to a missionary and say, hey, okay, how can we build on to what you're doing? For instance, a lot of practical building. That's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Hey, let's help build the church. Those are cliches, though, that aren't always welcomed. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
We got to finish this building.
I know. There's always something.
We got a
that's,
wall
like,
to build in
undone.
Mexico, so we need.
Like, you
Are
do
they
it.
going to pay for it?
No, senor. Hot topic. Hot topic.
Oh man. Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know, that's-
No. I brought it up. I grew up in Mexico. And
Oh man. And so you still go back? Like you were just there a couple months ago,
a couple weeks ago, yeah.
a couple weeks ago,
Oh, really?
and that's so cool. I like that you were like, because you used to drive to Mexico when you were
Oh
missionaries there,
man,
right?
don't remind me.
You used
It's
to
a
drive
terrible
there.
drive. It's
We had
about
to take like 4 planes. So I'm like, oh yeah, I just be
That's
like,
true, that's
hey,
true.
we'd be gone. But I mean, it's still same thing. But that's crazy. That's crazy.
It's about a 40-hour drive, 40-hour drive.
Really?
We break it up into a couple days, and dude, this was when Redbox was starting to. When it came out for the first time, and that was revolutionary for us. We could pick up a DVD in Laredo, Texas, and drop it off in Shreveport, Louisiana,
Really?
and that for my birthday, I asked for a portable DVD player, and that was back in the day.
Okay, so-
that was an amazing
I just
time.
want to ask something. Do you remember how bad you felt popping open a portable DVD player? Do you know what I mean? Like just that, you just felt so important. Like I saw one the other day at like a Goodwill, and I was like, man, that thing drove my life because it was just kind of like, I got a personal screen, dude. I can plug in head. You can't. What? This is
Kids
me
these days
right
are so
now.
privileged.
I did have one of those. And
But you also had an iPod Classic.
yeah.
Just be honest. You've always had an iPod Classic.
Yeah, I did.
Respect that.
You missed that. You missed the wave.
They die after like 3 years
I
or
know,
something.
I know.
Always.
And they can't bring it back to life. I think they're like made to die or something.
Oh, that's the Apple way.
Yep.
Oh man. Rip Steve Jobs.
No. So there's another story that I remember that a missions team came, and again, this is end of the week, so a lot of times they would end the night with a prayer night, and me, my brother, and my dad was teaching at a Bible school. This is in Mexico, and training pastors. So they're young, 21, 22-year-old, ambitious, trying to learn to plant different churches all over Mexico. So we got a couple of them. We had this mask, right? It was like a troll, scary, big teeth. And we thought it would be really funny if we, so the missions team every night prayed in this really wide open space with these big windows that looked just straight into the night. We thought it would be really funny if we pop our head over into the window while they're praying, and then we disappear. Like, that's a funny idea. That's a good idea. So we got these kids training to be pastors, and we went over there and we saw the group, a missions group. They were all praying and they're all having a really serious time. It's like their last night. They're right about to leave, and we just started banging on the windows. And we didn't show any faces or anything. We just banged on the windows, and then we kind of could see, and they all were like looking at us, And then we banged it again, bang, bang, bang. And then my brother, Max, was wearing the mask, and he just lifts his head and then lowers it. It was just a flash. And then we bolted it. We ran. We knew exactly where we were going. We jumped into some trees. We hid. And all these people ran out. And they're looking everywhere. And they don't. And then they're just freaking out. And we just went home.
Yeah. So they think you were a demon or something?
So we didn't hear anything back. And then a couple years later, the missions team came back. And my mom, she thought that story was so funny. So she would tell other, she was the narc. She told us.
Yeah.
So she would tell other teams about that story. And so she told this leader, and he goes, "What, really? That was our team." And he said, "That is really funny." We went back to our church, and all the kids started sharing about how spiritual warfare was so strong, how they were going through so many different trials and tribulations. It was the missionary kids.
And how they saw a demon.
How they saw a demon in real life. It was me.
That's hilarious.
Actually, spiritual warfare was so strong. No, not putting that down. Spiritual warfare is really strong. Yeah. But which I'll just conjure it.
But it manifests itself in naked women.
And trolls.
And trolls.
No, I'm just kidding.
Man, that's crazy. Oh, that's so funny, dude. I was always too scared to mess with, because I'm like, my parents would always say, just because they'd be like, we want them to come back. They'd always say that. So be like, let's treat them like we
give
want
them an experience.
Yeah.
Give them an experience to come back to.
Yeah, be like, you rebuked the devil and he fled from you. How about that? How about you come back for that? Oh, man. Okay, so Zach, you parlayed mission work, and I think that's what's so cool is me and Zach get along. Is like we both had like a similar upbringing. We made videos with our friends while being missionary kids, and YouTube and all that other stuff. So it's kind of like we rode a wave of video making that was goofy with friends, which kind of everybody did at the time. Because you had to get a hold of like a camcorder and you do that, and then you have turned it into a career.
Surprisingly,
it's always like a career. Hopefully, You're like, as long as people still want videos, we're in business.
Did you ever watch that Netflix movie about the child soldiers?
Oh, you're talking about
because I
you mean that documentary about my life?
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like,
talking about Beast of No Nation.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I watched this movie about you and Phil. But then,
like you were holding an AK the whole time.
The joke that I made was like, "Is this how you got your start in videos?" And it was the kids. It was like, "This is imagination TV." Oh, it was like an empty TV, and they were just like getting behind
imagination TV.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's rough.
I watched that movie with my grandparents, and about halfway through, they're like, "What are we watching?"
I like that movie.
It's a great movie, but it is a heavy movie.
Very dark,
dude.
Highly recommend
history,
it.
Though, right? Like it's kind of crazy that people live like the
Coney 2012.
Coney 2012. I watched an interesting documentary on YouTube. It's called Internet Historian. Have y'all heard of this channel?
No. I like
I'm just gonna bring it. Yeah, I think it's so cool, dude. It's called Internet Historian. It's this guy who does these like 10-15 minute like video essays / documentaries on like an internet topic, and he covered Coney 2012. He also covered planking recently in his newest one. Really interesting stuff. It is like I found out about that through Reddit, so it's gonna be solid.
What was your version of planking? It was like an offshoot of that you did for.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Wall dancing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dumb. Internet icon, man. Dumb.
that's actually how I found out about Shama.
Really?
So I'm gonna say, okay, Internet Icon is a show.
I thought it was a good show.
It's a YouTube show,
Yeah,
basically like American Idol for YouTubers. I was on it.
Have we never talked about that on the podcast?
I don't think I've ever talked about it. I don't talk about it at all. I waited for Grace to marry me, and then I was like, I was also on this show. I was on the second season, I think, back in like 2013. And I flew myself out to California and competed, and I made top 10.
They really stepped
like
up the production on the second season, and they never did it again.
Yeah. It
probably lost money.
Well, I don't even know.
Probably.
I think the thing was the second season they got sponsored by Truth Orange, the anti-tobacco
Yeah, their ads are kind of annoying
company, and like that's so they just tried. And I'm thinking about it now. just because being in the industry now, is I think those people really overtook the whole thing. So they'd always be like,
really?
"Hey, wear this T-shirt and say no to tobacco." You know what I mean? So I think they kind of like ran that over.
Yeah.
But just that. Yeah. But so I was on that show. And that's where I met.
You were like, 3 episodes in?
I was 3 episodes. I mean, like, dude, I was just super green. That's why I don't like talking about it. I was just super.
Had that afro.
I was just super. I didn't know how to shoot. I didn't know how to edit. I was just terrible.
It was Ryan Higa. It's like Elishama.
Yeah. I was just terrible, man. I was just terrible. And people were like, dude, you need to move out to California. And I'm glad I didn't, because I moved back to Greenville and I cut my teeth and we linked up with Zach and I actually learned and I got better. So I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah, some of those people just never made it, and I think like they're still hustling and they're just not doing anything. But then some people made it big. Like Megan Batoon is huge.
She's huge. Yeah, there's a bunch of people we were on the same season with. I was on a season with them, and they're doing really well right now.
You just haven't kept up with them.
I know, dude. No, I keep up with a couple of them, and every time I follow, I'm like, man, wow, never mind. I don't want to do this anymore.
No, yeah,
unfollowed.
No, for me it was I did the YouTube. I tried YouTube.
You did, yes.
I tried the YouTube game. Yeah, and so the vlogging and all that fun stuff, the sketches.
You had a vlog in Spanish. You did a vlog in Spanish, which is so good.
I had this very fleeting idea that I would start a channel in Spanish and get a lot of followers, which it probably, if I would have dedicated the time to it. But then YouTube is changing so much constantly. It's, I mean, all these social media platforms and the marketing, the people who are at the top are at the top because they're very aware of what's going on, I feel.
Yeah.
So I was terrible at that part.
And I mean, like, are you trying to find that soundbite of him butchering my name?
No, I'm trying to find a different one of someone butchering your name. That made me laugh so hard.
Oh, man. If you made a compilation, we wouldn't have time. But, okay, so tell us a little bit about, like, your kind of start and your, I don't know, where you currently are in, like, the film industry. And then PD will cut in with this terrible soundbite.
I'm gonna find it.
The first video I ever made was for a church youth group contest, and I made this video called "How Not to Evangelize" in Spanish. I made it in Spanish, and it won the contest, and everyone watched it, and I just got this euphoria. I thought, this is what I want to do. This was so much fun. I'm a star. Yeah. This is amazing. So I decided to keep making videos, and I eventually made some friends that we just constantly, the only thing we wanted to do together was make videos, and we hung out a lot. In Mexico, I was very independent because we have this thing called public transportation.
Oh boy.
Oh man. Seriously, best thing ever for independence.
Oh yeah.
I honestly wish there was
earbuds. Just chill,
dude. You go to sleep and you always wake up exactly where right before you're trying to get off.
Look at that, la di da. I'll let me off, please.
Oh, there's la carniceria, so gonna get off. So
ours was Kwabibi Pembe. That was our bus stop.
Oh man. So yeah,
just meant grandmother horn. Grandmother with horns. I think that was
some Swahili for you.
Is that what those kids saw?
Maybe. Yeah. No, it's like this lady. She's like a witch. She's like a witch doctor or something, and it's an old lady, and they claim she had horns. And for some odd reason, the bus station was just named by whatever notable thing, like noteworthy thing happened at that location. So you can start and just be like, "Hey, let me at the Orange Man." And that would be the name of the bus station. Like,
drop me off at nothing.
Drop you off at nothing. People would be like, cool, dropping you off at nothing. Here you go.
Nothing happened here.
It would just catch on. They would always call it a tree. If there was like, mango tree. Drop me off at mango tree.
Oh, that's cool.
And then the mango tree would be cut down and they'd still call it mango tree. And you're like, what? Okay, so making videos.
Yeah, so I just kept making videos with my friends. And then it got to the point where I went to college, to North Greenville University.
Shout out to NGU. # distinguish yourself.
Oh yeah, I heard about the extinguish yourself. I actually know the person who did that. Oh, so I know Robert. Yeah,
full circle.
So he actually finished. He went back to North Greenville and finished.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he got expelled.
He did get kicked out.
Oh.
But he was allowed back in. So,
really?
Yeah. There've been a lot of changes at North Greenville.
Obviously.
They got a Chick-fil-A.
I know.
After
dude.
I left.
Well, they were waiting for you to leave. They're like, all right, guys, Zach's gone. Unload the holy chicken.
They pressed the Chick-fil-A button.
So I can't find the video, but I'll just describe it for the listeners real quick. It was there's a radio show talking about one of your songs, and the guy's like, "What's his name?" And the girl goes, "Shama Marema." He goes, "Gesundheit." And that made, dude, I laughed so hard. That was like the most hacky old man joke ever, but it made me laugh.
Was this?
I think it was his radio.
Gesundheit. I bet you it's on. I know where they upload their videos.
I was dying.
We'll pull that up later.
Yeah, I want that to be a soundtrack.
Gesundheit.
Shama Marema. Gesundheit. Like what?
Oh man, I forgot about that. Oh man. Anyways, fun bit. I just never correct people when they mispronounce my name. So like that's my thing. Is if I knew a lady who's called me Shamba for years, and I just never correct her, and I don't allow anybody else to correct them because I'm like, yeah, it just makes life fun. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm at the hospital or dentist office, and they're like, Shuma Marim. I'm like, yeah, that's me. Let's go. And they're like, how do you say your name? I'm like, just how you said it. Yeah. That's it.
We know
Let's
it's
do
me.
this. Stab my teeth and let me get out of here.
We know it's the only
Yeah, and I'm like-
Shimumba.
Shimumba, what is the marimba? Yeah, I'm like, that's me. Let's go.
What is the most common Southern pronunciation of your name?
Shama, Shama, and then it'll be like Shama, like they'll say Shama, then I'll say Shama, and they'll go, oh, Shama, like Shama Lama Ding Dong.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're witty.
I've heard that so many times. Just like being around you.
So it's a song from a movie called Animal House. I don't know, I've never watched the movie.
Yeah.
And there's like a house band plays Shama Lama, Shama.
You used to lean into
Everybody's
it a
seen
little
it.
bit because your YouTube channel was named Shama Lama.
Shama
Just because it
Lama.
rhymed, and I was like,
Yeah.
people can't pronounce my last name, and it's
But now you're going with the Marema.
yeah. Now I'm like,
Shama.
let's just do it.
I think that's a better choice.
Yeah.
Okay, so Zach, you start making films with friends. You move to North Greenville. You distinguish yourself.
You extinguish yourself.
You
You do it all.
extinguish yourself
Absolutely. I extinguished myself.
You penguined yourself.
after you graduated.
Yeah, that's right.
No, and then you met your wife. You actually met your wife on a mission team. So you kind of talk about short-term mission trips, but then also short-term mission trip.
You gotta
kinda
okay.
how you
Hold, you gotta. I mean, my wife. So there's a coffee shop in Mexico, and they serve coffee at a specific climbing destination, international climbing destination, 15 minutes from where I grew up. So it is a Christian ministry, and my wife went and served there for 6 months, and she met my parents, and my mom was like, she's a great person to know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And I said,
how old were you?
Yes.
when she told you this?
I think I was 20.
Okay.
20. I was here.
Oh,
in
okay.
South
Okay, that's
Carolina.
crazy. Dang.
So and I was like, yeah, she's hot. I definitely want to marry her.
Is this a PureFlix rom-com?
Yeah.
Copyright. Listen. We gotta. I don't know what measurements we need to take before this episode releases.
How a short-term mission trip turned into a long-lasting love.
This summer, Kirk Cameron. You get replaced by Kirk Cameron. Kirk Cameron.
Kirk Cameron.
The girl from Fireproof. And that black guy who always provides wisdom because he's old.
And David A.R. White.
David A.R. White in short-term mission trips in Mexico coffee shop.
always a coffee shop.
Oh, man,
Only-
that's crazy.
Only if I can direct that.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Dude, I
produce
don't.
it.
I think we could get a meeting with PureFlix and just shop them some stuff.
Absolutely. Oh man.
You know what?
Can we write a sitcom?
we? Yes.
Like starring Freeland
Dude,
or
there's
something.
this. Yes. We'll come back to this.
Okay, yeah, we'll come.
That's
yeah.
long-term goal. We're playing the
Okay.
long game. The long game is to produce a PureFlix film.
Even though I won't let them see the stuff where I trash them online.
Yeah. They'll be like, "Oh, we need to vet you," and they're like, "No, there's nothing to what." I'm not.
People
online.
were mad
What
at
are
me.
you talking about?
Did you see the meme about God's not dead?
No, but I probably fully support the meme.
Somebody. Okay, so it was like
terrible.
when somebody asks you where you want to start, God's not dead, and then it's a picture of Qui-Gon. It's like credits will do fine. I didn't make that one. That was someone I reposted it. It got
People-
8,000 likes, but people in the comments were, I love that movie. It made me cry, and you're being mean.
I texted it to all my friends.
friends
my
at
favorite.
the end.
Now,
did that.
did you watch it, though?
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay, good.
I liked it at the time too, and then
You
I
liked
watched
12.
it again later. I was like, why did I like this?
I watched it for the purpose of being able to critique it, because that's my philosophy. You cannot say anything wrong about it if you haven't watched it. So I'll tell people that, because they'll start crapping on the movie, and I'll say, no, you can't.
Yeah,
You have to go watch it and experience the moment when they have the Duck Dynasty guys for about 5 minutes outside the church parking lot. They got to get the scene, and oh man, it's so.
Dude, you know how excited they were about that ending? They were like,
Oh man,
concert and everybody's there.
I'm Willie and I shoot squirrels, or whatever he said.
Dude.
as soon as spoiler alert for all you listeners, take your earbuds out
if you're watching
you're
God's
watching
Not
this.
Dead and like
Hit
you
that
haven't finished
15
it.
seconds
if you
skip
haven't
button.
finished it. As soon as what's his face, the professor dies, and then it's like, God's not dead.
Dude, I laughed so hard on my second viewing of that movie when he gets hit by the car.
And then the pastor comes out of nowhere, and it's just this perfect.
And that's how like the plot
works.
device of the.
It's raining.
Yeah.
Oh man,
They were like, how do we make the
they
scene
killed
sad? Rain.
Bringing it back to Reddit, he actually did an AMA. What's his name?
yeah.
Oh man,
I read through that.
I was on it when it was live, and I just watched it just crumble.
Who?
It was
But
depressing.
Who
What's
told
his
him
name?
that the Hercules dude?
Oh yeah,
I don't even know his name.
Disappointed. There was a scene of him online.
Yeah.
He was as Hercules. Have you seen this?
Oh no, I haven't seen
So
that.
he was playing Hercules in the movie, and I think one in the script, one is like his character was supposed to feel disappointed, but he read that as a line. So and it's in the film. So
Really?
at one point in the film, he's just kind of like disappointed.
Why would they leave it?
I don't even know, dude.
I would leave it.
It's an integral.
That's a director's choice. I would leave it.
Yeah, it is, dude. You gotta look it up.
That's
That'd be meme
hilarious.
material. It's so funny.
Oh, I'm glad we're talking about Christian movies right now. So this is a church stories podcast. Okay, so
Yeah.
So here's my little thing. All right, we got to step it up. We got to step it up. I mean, I think it's coming. I know a lot of people in the industry who are Christians, who are believers,
Who are good.
and they're good, and they want to do ambitious, good things, and they're trying, but they're stuck in different avenues. So I think one day soon, I'm hoping for the A24 of the Christian movie industry.
Oh, man, dude.
and I believe it's coming. I believe as we start getting money and
Yeah, well, I think it's about like who's your target audience, because if it's PureFlix is probably reaching like 40 to 70-year-olds, and they love all the stuff that
and
comes
they have a
through
lot
there.
of money to throw at
Also,
PureFlix.
Yeah.
it is it's a formula. It's one of those things that when you're like, oh, we figured it out. Why
It's like
change
Hallmark.
it? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like Hallmark. They know their demographic. They're like, oh, we can shoot a movie in what, like 24 days, right? So we can shoot a movie in 24 days.
Horrible jokes.
Horrible jokes.
The plot is like you can figure it out in 5 minutes.
All
Doesn't
the
matter
girls
who's directing
look
it.
alike. We'll
Yeah.
just get the girl from that.
Oh,
thing
and they
that
have
you
the
don't
same
remember.
actors. Like
Same
I think
thing.
they have them like
Yeah.
on contracts, right?
Really,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
They do the movies and they're done. So I think the same thing. I mean, Christian movies
And-
is just plug and play.
My grandpa loves them.
And Grace watches them. I mean,
Grace watches Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
watch them.
Oh yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm
It-
like
it works.
we watch them.
Yeah, like it works. Like they've done it.
Dude,
You know what
have
I mean?
my grandpa over one day. He would love to watch a Hallmark movie with you.
My favorite thing was you said that your grandpa watches them. He'll watch a Hallmark movie that he's seen before
Yeah.
and then laugh at all the jokes.
For real. But it's not like
laugh at all the jokes that made him laugh initially.
and I love the way he'll go like, ha ha.
You're like, Grandpa, you've seen this before. He's like, yeah, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Courtesy
Man.
joke.
So, okay, we're detouring, man. This is what happens when Redditors
This is
do a
good. This is
podcast.
good. I really want to talk. I always am down to talk about Christian movies because I want. I would love to be a participant of the Christian movies, or at least industry as a whole. We talk about that.
Yeah,
we talk
yeah.
about that. But taking the Napoleon Dynamite meets Christian movies.
Yeah. Right.
That's the direction that I would love to go
It
in.
is so much fun to listen to atheists just tear into these movies.
So
and I agree with them on so many points.
I was watching this little video essay about like why I watch too many video essays. God help me.
They're so good.
They're so
They're
good.
good. They're good.
Do you
Very
look,
thankful for those.
Vox and Vice make some of the greatest little video. And I was watching one on like bad movies, specifically like The Room, and they were talking about like why people love bad movies. And so the thing is like they say like, argue or not, but like the people who intellectual people who like really good movies, like artsy movies, also like bad movies, because bad movies have like qualities, like the similar qualities of being likable and watchable. You know what I mean? So in a way, God's Not Dead movies have failed and succeeded because they're kind of bad, but they're also so bad that we're talking about it.
Yeah,
right
like
now.
one
You know what I
day-
mean? We're talking about a 5-year-old movie.
One day behind a Patreon paywall, we will review God's Not Dead 3 with Zach.
Oh, please.
I've never watched that movie.
I haven't seen the second one.
I haven't either. Wait, yeah, I have.
God's
seen
Not
it.
Dead.
I did-
Light
Have I?
in the darkness.
The first time I found out about Pure Flix was a movie that they did about a diner. Have you heard about this? I don't even remember.
No.
You have
Was
those.
it Faith
Oh,
Like
wait, was it called
Potatoes?
The Encounter or something?
I can't remember what the name of it, but I do remember that you have those friends that have the stack of Pure Flix movies.
yeah.
And so we went to their house one time and they just put it in. And I was like, I'm going to watch this. I've never heard about this.
Were they like, you've got to watch this? Or is it like, here's some background noise while we're talking?
No, you've got to watch this. You've got to watch this. This is going to strengthen your journey with the Lord himself. They didn't say that, but I feel like it's implied when you're watching these movies, and they're the ones who
focus your attention here.
yeah. Let's all watch this and make this a communal experience. And so we sat down and we watched it. They ended up the parents ended up leaving the room and doing their own thing.
Ooh, bamboozle.
Oh man, yeah, a little switcheroo action. But so the movie itself is about a diner where a bunch of people who are going through different. They're all stuck in the diner, and then there's this amazingly perfect white guy that appears and is starting to solve all these problems.
I think it's called The
people.
Encounter.
Is it?
I think so. I'll
please look that up.
Encounter? Is it?
That's my first experience
Okay.
with the Pure Flix movie.
How old are you?
I think I was 16, 17, and I was appreciating movies. I didn't think I wanted to do movies. I thought I wanted to do YouTube then.
What,
Yeah.
Sting was in this? The wrestler Sting?
This is it. Yeah.
Why was Sting in this movie?
The Encounter?
Dude, you know why? Okay, so this is what happens with those movies. Zach can co-sign on this.
Sting
Is
boy.
that what happens is they get a budget of like, what, $200,000.
Yeah.
And then they just get the most F-list celebrity who's close by and available for like 4 days, and they give him like 25% of their budget, and they're like, please, Bruce Springsteen, please, Johnny Depp's cousin. You know what I mean? Like they'll just pay them the money, and then he'll do like 2 days, and they'll be like, we've got so and so in this movie, and that's like their selling point on it.
It does say and Sting.
Yeah, my
Sting.
favorite
That's a
Sting
credit.
story is like he returned to WWE a few years ago, and they put a picture of him up on like the big like Titantron to let everybody know, and then like the drunk uncle announcer's like, "That's not Sting, that's a picture of Sting," and it just ruined the moment.
Oh man.
You know, I actually have a history in with WWE.
Oh, really?
By that I mean,
Don't get him started.
No. I mean by that, WWE it was the biggest thing in Nicaragua at the time.
You talked about that too, right?
Everyone,
In Tanzania too.
dude, it is huge. It's
And they think it's real, right?
They think it's real.
Yeah.
I thought it was real.
It's
When I was
insane.
10, 11, 12, I thought this was real. This is real stuff happening. And they just got to fight it out in the ring.
In
Yeah.
India, like they're crazy for it in India.
Dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like the international. I mean, like, honestly, like anything action is so big in Africa. Like
And
Rambo
Mexico.
movies.
Nicaragua, yeah.
Rambo movies. You know what I'm talking about? Like Sylvester. Like
Yeah.
it'll just have like explosions. As
Fast.
long as there's like explosions and somebody running around with a gun, like 90% of the movie sold.
Fast and Furious.
Fast
Killed
and
it.
Furious
Killed it.
kills.
We need to get a wrestler. on the
Arnold
podcast.
Schwarzenegger.
Oh, please.
Dude, we really do.
Please.
We will. We will.
Can you- An atheist. No, I'm just kidding.
Tell us about your church story.
Yeah.
He just rags in the church for an hour. Oh man. Okay, so we detoured. You met your wife. You graduated. Oh, it's like you got married before you graduated,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Bold move, cotton, paid
Yeah.
off.
She was not going to school.
Okay.
She chose not to go to school, and so she was like, "All right, Zach, I'm ready. Let's get married.
And you were like, I live in a dorm with 4 guys.
And they all thought it was not the right time.
Look at you
but
now.
I felt I was definitely ready.
Look at me now.
Yeah, and now I have a kid,
I'm changing diapers.
Oh.
Look at me.
which is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, Sparrow.
Yeah. But being a dad is awesome.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to be one of those encouraging voices for you, as
I appreciate
you're
it.
probably dealing with people that are like,
Whoa.
good luck,
Good luck, buddy.
Oh man,
Dude, I was
little
getting
honeymoon baby. Whoa, so sorry,
Why?
man. No,
You're working.
no, dude, it's freaking awesome.
I was getting a haircut, and my barber. I get a haircut at this place called In the Cut. I kid you not. It's spelled N space THA space KUT. In the Cut.
Yes.
My barber wears this headset, like a Bluetooth headset, connected to a computer because he uses Google Voice. Do y'all remember that? Anytime his phone rings, he presses the computer and goes, "In the cut." In the cut. It's amazing. And I was telling him because he cut my hair during my wedding, and we went back. I went back, and he was like, "Hey man, how you doing, man? How's the wife?" And I was like, "Man, she's good." I was like, "We're expecting a baby." He's like, "Oh, can I give you some advice?" I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Go ahead, start buying diapers." He's like, "When is the baby?" I was like, "Jude." He's like, "Start buying diapers now." I was like, "What now? Am I just supposed to buy diapers and just put them away?" Oh man, that's the kind of advice I get. So it's always good. It's good. It's good here from Zach.
That's good advice.
You're good. This is good.
Yeah, dude, it's good. Oh, one of the things that you mentioned earlier that I thought needed to be reiterated about missions is missions. Being out in the missions field will wreck you if you're not ready to just go with the flow.
Right.
We have the saying, and it's this is Mexico.
Right.
And we say
this is Africa.
This is Africa. We label it TIM so that the
But with Africa, you say waka waka. Hey.
It's a very specific World Cup reference of like 2010.
But I'm very thankful for that reference. This is really good.
You're welcome.
Oh man, so
Little Shakira action.
Y'all say TIM.
TIM, and that's because we saw so many people. People in Mexico would say, "Oh, poor Mexico, so far from God, so close to the United States," and that's because we would have people just drive over and claim to be sent to do missions.
Oh yeah.
And so that's we talked about that I think one time in Tanzania. You have layers of travel.
Yeah.
To get through. I think Uganda probably deals with that a little more. Those kind of.
So it's like ministers who like don't cut it here, they'll go to a foreign country, and because you're
white, so it's like a handicap. It's like a guy in the NBA who can't cut it, so he goes to play in like Asia.
Like an Asia
exactly.
league. Yeah, it's the same thing.
That's a very good.
It's the same thing because there you're like whoa, and it's like these guys have like completely like wrecked like a church or like a ministry here, and then they move to another country, and then people don't know, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, let's get some credentials.
Or they experience some major life change, like divorce, or or they there's just things aren't working out, and they end up coming. We've had people just show up, and because they're white, so one thing that I really respect about my parents is we never lived in like a compound or anything with other white missionaries. It was just our family and then Mexico, or our family and Nicaragua. We were the only Americans within the city pretty much. And so I grew up with just that experience. And so it wasn't some sort of program like we in Nicaragua. Every once in a while we would interact with other missionary kids. Excuse me. And they'd been there 7 years. We've been there for 2 years. They didn't even speak Spanish. Oh, because they lived in like a protected environment. And my parents just were kind of, all right, here we are. Good luck. Crazy, figure it out. And and I really appreciate that. But in that, people would show up, just drive down, and people would go, "Oh, you're with the missionary family. You're with the missionary family," and they'd be out drinking, partying, or they would come with some sort of really provocative, weird message, or they would come with a white savior complex, which man, that is real. Some
Yeah.
people come down and they are there to save Mexico, and they're there to be the star. They're there to find a wife. That happened a couple times. They're there just to find the pretty señorita.
So like, if you're a
Jeez,
Jim
man.
Jones type, you do great.
Well, it's like, so it's not even like a Jim Jones. It's kind of like there's just like if you have a certain level of charisma, I think that's it.
Or even a lack of charisma.
Or just go.
Even if you're just white,
Or if you're
Pretty
sometimes.
much. Yeah.
I love the
you
term
go somewhere.
charisma vacuum. That I've heard used for some people.
Really?
Yeah.
Explain.
Explain
or it's just
that.
kind of like,
It's just somebody who like they're a person, but like there's nothing to them.
That's-
jeez, man. They just kind of suck up whatever kind of like little energy is somewhere, and they just try to like hype that up. Well, that's kind of it. People like that really like outlast in foreign countries, because then it's kind of like, oh, like the person from so and so, you know, from this place. I remember people would come from a different country in Africa, just like a bordering country, and they'd come, and I mean, they'd always talk to my parents, whatever. They were like, oh, we want to serve in your church. I want to pastor a church. Help me build a church. And I'd be like, well, how about you just sit down for a bit, you know, kind of be a part of a local church, and then we'll go from there. And they never stay.
Yeah, like
You
Chris
know.
Hansen style. Why don't you take a seat over here?
Why don't you take a seat real quick? Yeah, that's how it was. But I mean, like, honestly, all of that, I think it's like shaped. I mean, my relationship with the Lord, my relationship with church, my relationship with people. I think missions does like it does like all of a sudden you go through all this stuff, and then it kind of sounds like, okay, there are a lot of people who are jaded, and there are a lot of missionary kids who end up on the wrong side of the tracks, if you will. But then there are a lot of
Crack.
people.
They did.
They do, yeah, they do. Wrong side of the crack. There are, and then there are people like me and Zach who don't work for a church
And
No.
don't do crack.
Speak for yourself.
No, but there
You
are
look
people
very good for somebody who does crack.
healthy. It's like vegan lifestyle, but does crack. You know what I
Vegan
mean?
crack.
Yeah, but no, there is a lot of people who like. Honestly, I will say I met the people that I work with, that we work with. You know, let people see. So many people in the film industry. You, myself, we've been a part of local churches, and we have so many, experiences with local churches, but we're not, like working air quotes full time in a local church right now. But when I see people like that, when I see people like you, or different kind of people, people that we know, I'm always like, man, in the conventional like four walls of ministry, you'd kill it. You know what I mean? You'd kill it. But then also, because of who you are, you also wouldn't last. You know what I mean? Like it cuts both ways.
Because there's a lot of politicking to be done.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what makes you great for like that position.
That's for anything. I think
also
about
makes
that.
you, yeah.
With like even stand-up comedy. It's like, do I want to do the political part of that, which is like just like trying, like scratching and clawing to get ahead and be on every show? And
Right.
Film industry, we talk about that.
It's the same thing of like,
Yeah.
it's like what makes you good. Like, I don't know. Like the stairs, the hierarchy of being a part of something. That's really where a lot of things fall apart for a lot of people. And then all of a sudden you're kind of like, well, I mean, I like it. I loved whatever that is, but I don't do that anymore.
you know what I tell people at work? I'd be like, hey, real quick, ministry break. And they all know that means I'm going to go make a post on Instagram.
Ministry break.
Yeah.
People take smoke breaks, and you're just out there making Christian memes for the Lord.
Yep.
I appreciate those memes.
Me
Thank
too. Zach, do you have any other story that you wanted to share?
Oh man!
Before we land this plane?
I think I hit a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
You'll just have to have me back to share some more.
Oh, yeah, what's the future? What's 2019 looking like?
Oh man, I hope it's bright.
Like a light.
Hope
Hey,
it's-
like a light.
Hope it's so bright. I need shades.
Are we going to get another version of that song? Is it going to be
Maybe.
like a Drew mix?
Maybe
Going to come out?
Possibly.
Oh,
I wrote
man,
a
that'd
song
be so
called
good.
"My Future So Bright." I gotta wear shades.
Which is just
Gotta
something
wear
like,
shades. Gotta wear shades.
like you'll see like a 40-year-old aunt wearing a
Yeah.
shirt that says that.
Yeah. Oh, at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
Except North Greenville did that as a theme for their freshmen one year, and everyone got shirts that said "So Bright."
Oh.
Gotta wear shades, and I thought, oh,
future so bright.
You
I
know-
gotta get bullied.
anyone who wears a lanyard at North Greenville instantly gets bullied.
There's a lanyard anywhere. Nothing makes me happier. We know of that camp that we didn't go to, but their what was their theme? It was like the Star Wars theme.
Oh,
A New
I was
Hope.
there.
What was it? What was the theme?
Something awakens.
Oh, Awaken or something like that.
Yeah.
Spirit awakens.
Dude, I went to this camp. It was a Church of God camp in Malden, and it was their theme was viral, and they have like that toxic symbol that was like their logo for the week, and it was like make your faith go viral,
Remember,
like a disease, like people that you would quarantine, but your faith infect the world.
Wait,
I was like,
they put it like that?
I mean, that's like every preacher came. I got a really funny story about trying to get everybody baptized with the Holy Ghost, but I can't get into that right now.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, man.
But
Yeah.
I serve was one.
You
You had a T-shirt of that for a long time.
I
didn't you?
did. I serve.
Like iPhone.
You know what? You know how I serve?
How?
I give. I love. I learn. I go.
New song?
I can't make two words rhyme together without PD, without the paparazzi. Oh man!
And
But
I don't know when you're going to come out with some ironic church story merch, but I'm ready. Just some really good Christian tees that you go, I don't know if that's real or not. And that's what I want to wear. I want to wear that.
I'm just gonna pitch you the idea, and I'm gonna pitch it. Maybe hopefully, it'll just I don't know, maybe catch on. But we had this idea a while back for just making a T-shirt, just having on just small letters, just calling it Sunday Best.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Just so I don't know, you could just tell people that you're wearing your Sunday best. I don't know if that should be a T-shirt or if it's a clothing line. I really don't know what it could be.
Oh, I like it. I like it as a clothing line.
Yeah,
The Sunday
I
Best.
don't know.
Like
do
Sunday
something.
Best leggings. It's a lifestyle brand now.
Ooh. We'll see.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. We don't know. I don't know, man. We'll see, man. But okay. So you said 20. You hope 2019 is bright.
Let me just say, I just hope to keep hustling, do a lot more in the sense of we talk about this a lot. Shama and I do in post podcast. I think we're gonna have this conversation again. It's just making meaningful stuff, making stuff that matters, and friendships that we have just are making content. They're just making things. And they're not being meaningful with their marketing or their intentionality behind it. But, I just want to get into that space of being able to feed my family and make good content.
Right.
Right now I'm a commercial director and / everything else sometimes.
Yeah.
So, and which I really enjoy. I really enjoy people, really enjoy meeting new people and doing cool things with them. But I would love to create fun stuff. We talk about besides Robert is killing it with those music videos you guys are doing and being able to help out with that, for example. But then we're talking about doing a short that's just a meaningful short about the concept about money.
Yeah.
And those things that might not necessarily go viral,
right,
but might hit the right person the right way. And then hopefully just turn that into a career.
Amen, man. Yeah. Amen. So the group is called, we label company, the brand. It's the title is called After School Program because we meet up and do a lot of these projects after our jobs,
post work,
after everything else, and we just call it the After School Program. So yeah, everything that we've made so far has kind of been under it. We also got a short parody commercial called The Masterclass. Shama Rama teaches clapping, which is a clapping masterclass.
The masterclass stuff, I looked at that and I was like, this has got to be a complete waste of money. Like it's like gotta be like entry level knowledge.
I think they look gorgeous.
Yeah.
They look beautiful.
They're shot very,
and
very
the Kevin
well.
Spacey one probably plummeted in sales.
Pulled. I don't even know if you can get it. You can't get it.
Yeah, probably not. He's like,
But they could have just replaced him with Christopher Plummer.
But when you buy it, he's like, we're inseparable, you and I. Whatever.
Does he? Oh, shoot.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh man.
We know.
But that new video though.
Yeah. Let me be frank.
I think that came out on Christmas Eve, and I was like,
why, Kev?
Yeah, I was at a Christmas Eve party, and I was texting Shama. I was like, have you seen this?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like,
man.
yeah, dude.
That
That whole week, I was like off work, Christmas, and like the whole. I spent so much time on Reddit. Just like I was so caught up. I just kept on scrolling till like it ended, and I was like, oh. What? I'm done. I'm finished. I've finished Reddit.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Reddit's the best. If you want to kill time, you're going to be entertained.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah.
And you can pretend to learn meaningful things from it. You can go to the r/filmmakers or r/whatever podcast, whatever you want to go. And here's the secret: if you want to start off on Reddit, go to top all-time posts to figure out what the subreddit really is.
Yeah,
that's what we were talking about. Choosing,
that's usually not representative of what it is, though.
You're right, or at least.
But if you get down into it enough, there's like I feel like enough good posts. Maybe if
you go to like top of the week, that's more representative, or like top of the month. But like top of all time is just like a random thing that caught on. Really big.
That is true, but I mean. It's pretty consistent that it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
if you scroll down far enough, this is just one big ad.
Or
for
it's
Reddit.
super meta.
No.
If you go to the top of like a meme page, it'll be a meme about something that happened on the meme page.
It's Wednesday, my dude.
But you have to get it. Which that's what. So me and Zach were talking because my wife Grace and Zach's wife Hannah, they're similar people. They're kind of like the same people. They're not too much fans of. I don't know. Your wife's like a comedy fan, but not like familiar with the internet, the inner workings of the internet. Neither is Grace. So me and Zach will just go back and forth, very vague references, and just be like, oh, because we were on, and like I'll be like, what? I don't. She's like, when y'all get together, y'all are just. You're like children. I'm like, but you have to get the thing to get to understand.
We actually pitched this to our wives. The last time we hung out, because me and my brother Jackson, we will talk and riff back and forth about the current, that YouTube rewind though, and then we would actually like talk about it, and then Hannah leaves the room. She's just got nothing to say, and I mean I understand, and so we talked last time we hung out. We said it's just layers of jokes from 10 years ago that we were just there and we saw the joke happen, and then that's a callback, and we know the joke and we're too far in it now. We can't.
That's the thing about joining Reddit. It's like you're so lost at first. At least I was.
You're like, what is going on? What is this? And then somebody quotes something, and you're like, what?
I didn't even know how to use it.
You're there, and then you're like r/whoosh, and you're like, wait a minute, what? Me? Does this? Where am I missing?
And like posting is a total learning curve.
Yeah.
Like everything I tried to post in the beginning, like I wouldn't even meet the rules of the subreddit. It would just get taken down immediately. And then eventually I learned, and now I have like 100,000 karma. But
nice.
Internet points.
Oh, dude, again, Jackson, he's done really well on Reddit, just doing random things. For instance, he saw a picture that he just saved and re-uploaded it to Reddit, and instant 15,000, because he knew exactly where to put it and what to label it as.
Yeah, eventually I got into that mindset, or if I would see something on like another site, or just like in my everyday life.
Dude, he screenshotted an Adobe stock photo, and then he posted it on accidental Wes Anderson. And people thought he took it, and they're all, someone made the movie poster guy made it into a movie poster. And my brother, he just saved it on his phone. Well, I wanted to say something about Reddit, since this is church stories, and I want to bring it back always, right? It's church stories. Dank Christian memes.
I made it to the top of there. But I don't even post this stuff. Random people will post my memes on there, and they'll see it at the top and be like, oh, cool.
Yeah. That's when you go in. You go in hard. You got to start.
Killing it, dude.
Yeah, this is a repost. This is steal. I made this.
Yeah.
There's a meme. There's a meme. Now we're getting too far. People have probably turned the podcast off.
Yeah.
But if you haven't, we love you. Thank you so much for listening.
But dang Christian memes, it's like a community. It's the only place in the world where atheists and Christians get along.
Yeah.
And they laugh at things that are happening within the church.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. That's where like me and PD, like, I think we're at a point now where Christians, we can laugh at ourselves. You know what I mean? For so long, it was like if you made a joke about, or if you made like John Chris, like a lot of his parody videos, dude, that wouldn't have flown like, a decade, maybe like a decade ago.
Yeah.
But now people in church, like, we're aware. We're like, we're ridiculous. Some things ridiculous. So if somebody calls it out, we're like, yes, we get it. We get it. You know what I mean? And I'm glad we're at that point. And then sometimes I see a meme that cuts so deep, and I'm like, ooh,
dang Christian music.
Hey.
It gets like
It does.
super explicit sometimes too.
yeah. Then I'm like, ooh, not like that, please.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And
It's a fun place.
my thing is, it's not disrespecting Jesus, because I think atheists and Christians alike agree that Jesus was a good, quote unquote, person and did good things. It's just whether he was divine or not is where the atheists and Christians in that group
So,
are divided. But there's no disrespecting. I mean, okay, I say that, but it is Reddit, so there's probably a lot. But I mean, what I appreciate about where we are is a lot of people are going through a lot of angst. I think a lot of people our age are going through a lot of questioning the church and a lot of things about what is the church? Why are we doing this? And so looking at what it is today, where we're having those conversations, we're able to laugh about it and turn it into something that is beneficial is really nice, man.
Because what's so funny is, like, I made a video a couple of years ago about how I faked speaking in tongues. I just forgot about it. Like, it's gone.
You got a bunch of views for that, right?
So many people. Like, okay, so it's like not even that crazy amount of views, but the people who watch it are like, dude, that video spot on with what I experienced. Because like you faked speaking in tongues, you're at a camp or whatever. They're like, everybody's gonna speak in tongues. You know what I mean? Like just that whole thing.
Yeah,
like,
that's a whole
and then all of a sudden,
podcast.
you're like,
another podcast.
Wait a minute, like, did we all just have the same experience in just different? Like different continents and times, and you know what I mean? It's all like the same thing. Like this, like Pentecostal. You know what I mean? Like whatever kind of happened. Pentecostal conference. Ooh, dressing up as Bible characters.
What about Christian Meme Con? I think that we should know. That'd be the worst event.
Dress up as like the poster. You know the kind of people who'd be there. You know the kind of. You don't want those people. You don't want to be.
But I would have like a sweet panel though. Like I would be like one of the main attractions.
PD, you've already elevated yourself in this hypothetical conference.
Dude, I was making I don't know if I should even share this, but I was texting back and forth with Thomas, and like it was when we were at a metal festival, and I was looking at the lineup. I was like, okay, let's make this lineup, but like in the hierarchy of Christian memes that we're in.
And you just listed all the big meme pages.
Yeah,
that's wild.
we were the supporting act for the headliner on day 3.
Wow. Ooh. Y'all made a schedule. Man, this is. You know what, Zach? We questioned it, but this has been a great episode.
You questioned it?
Yeah. When you said it
Questioned
from the beginning, I was like,
oh,
man,
that.
We'll see how it goes.
I was just saying, like, I'm not going to say it's good before it's good.
No, I appreciate that. I think that's wise.
This is a great episode. We always end our episodes with
praise.
Hit that.
Why do I forget that? I host this show. We came up with that. Yeah. We end our episodes with praise reports, and that's just a thing. You're aware of. It's just something you're thankful for, something you're looking forward to. I don't know, something you want to plug.
Thankful to be on this podcast. Thank you guys for having me.
Perfect, man. That's great, dude. Anything else?
Dude, just thankful for just what we're doing. Honestly.
That's awesome, man. Yeah,
for real.
Dude. Heck yeah. PD?
Thankful for the hustle. I'm just kidding.
There we go.
I'm thankful for New Japan Pro Wrestling. They have their Tokyo Dome show, which is like a baseball stadium. It's probably not a good place to watch wrestling, but they put 40,000 people in there. And then like it was a trending topic, like a U.S. trending topic. So I was like, okay, I'm not alone, because the trend was like people in America stay up through the night to watch Japanese wrestling. I was like,
You're
okay,
like, me.
yeah, there are dozens of us. Yeah, so I planned on like watching. It ended at 7 a.m. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like stay up through the next day and then like go to sleep at maybe 10 and like, reset my sleep schedule, be normal again. Then get cut to like 9 a.m. and I just feel like I want to die.
9 a.m.
Yeah, so then I went to sleep from like 9 a.m. to 3 and then ruined my sleep schedule for a couple days.
PD, I always try to text you at like 10 and then I'm like, oh, he's not awake. What am I doing right now? I've already commuted to work. I've already drank coffee. I'm eating second breakfast. I'm like, PD's sleeping right now.
Worth it though.
Second breakfast.
Nobody? Is that not a thing?
Shouts out to Kenny Omega. He might be leaving. Thank you for all you've done.
He's listening. He's gonna listen to this show. My praise report is 15 weeks.
That's a good praise.
We're about to be at 16 weeks, and we're gonna find out the gender in the next like month or so. So I'm really excited.
Cool.
Boy, girl,
baby.
What
do you want, PD?
We're gonna do like a prediction show.
Yeah, it's right now.
Me and Zach are gonna host a prediction podcast.
breaking news.
Yeah. live. All right, wait. Yeah, wait a second. What do you think we should have? Your vote counts. PD, as opposed to every other vote you could make, your what you say right now matters.
I want you to have a girl because it'll be way more difficult. I want you to have that struggle.
Oh man, I don't know. What are friends for? What are friends for? I want to have a girl so me and Zach can relate to each other.
That's what I want.
Yeah, I want a girl
cut to when she's 16, 17. Good luck with that.
Going through.
Please no,
Dad.
like no, please. No, I'm your father.
I had 3 sisters. It's insanity.
Yeah. PD, don't tell me that. Don't tell us that.
I mean,
don't tell us.
They get better when they move out and marry people. But
all right,
you're someone else's problem now.
PD, your sisters don't listen to this show.
No, they will never listen to this show. They probably don't even know that I do a podcast.
But if they did, they still wouldn't listen.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys,
just like our wives.
Oh. Grace, people will finger and be like, "Oh, Snap, do you listen? I loved your episode on the show. Do you listen to the podcast?" And Grace will be like, "I did. I can't. I don't keep up with it now." And I'm like,
I was about to say, like, after she moved over here, I was like, she's not gonna listen to the podcast anymore. This is a thought I had. Like now that she's with you all the time, why would she want more you? On a podcast.
Right.
Here's my favorite little rebuttal.
Here's what I did last Sunday night.
Yeah, I'm like, what am I gonna? Hey, welcome back to the show, Grace. Just my favorite. I was reading this. I saw this somewhere, and they're like, the best comeback if somebody's like long-winded, like we can be at times. You just tell that person.
Yeah.
You just go, thanks. Didn't ask for a podcast. I can't remember I heard that, man. But I was like, oh, that's so funny because I'm like. And I was telling Zach then, I was like, that's me and you, Zach. Me and yours is always dishing out podcasts nobody asked for.
I saw a tweet where somebody said a kid was like, wait, you're doing a podcast? Isn't that the thing where you talk to yourself and no one listens?
Yeah, I saw
Nah, man, we're going 1,000 strong every single month. Shout out to you, listener. I don't want to end like that. I don't know why.
That just felt
I
weird.
channeled Soulja Boy from 2000. And you.
No, it felt like I don't like a radio host.
I know.
It's like
I know. I'm sorry, guys.
Something
no,
weird.
this has been a great episode.
Yeah.
Please follow Zach. Follow Zach on Instagram, right? Check him out. We'll post a picture of him so you can see how he looks. Dope mustache. So you can see how he looks when you listen to the show. And then, make sure to follow him. We got a ton of great stuff planned. So you're always going to hear from me, and I'll tell you and update you a lot of that stuff. But we're really excited about the future. Zach, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
For sure, dude. This has been Church Stories.
Gesundheit.
Oh, got me. All right, thanks.
Well, look what the Lord has done.
Hey. Hey, if you like this, please share it with your friends.
And if you have a funny church story, send it to us and it might make the show.
Email us, churchstoriespod@gmail.com.
Or DM us at Deuteronomemes on Instagram.
Or tweet us at Church Stories.
And leave us a review on iTunes.
Every little bit helps.
You make the difference.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
Stop wishing, start doing. Is that enough encouragement?
Yeah, that's enough.
All right.